Yo, Adam the Game Boy here. I'm here with Xenoture Gaming, Nintendopeman, and PapaGenos. We're going to discuss various rumors and speculate on Smash Bros. Ultimate. First, let's start with what game everybody's been playing recently. For me, it's Okami. It's still Okami. It's like the best 3D Zelda that's not 3D Zelda that I've played.
Yeah, definitely.
I recently got back into RimWorld.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's on Steam. It's like I kind of think about the Sim, like a Sim City, but a bit more detailed.
I think you cut out there.
Yeah, I think there's a delay in my thing too.
Same here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said since I recently got back into RimWorld, and basically it's like Sim City, but a bit more detailed. Like people, like the characters in it. It doesn't show all the body parts, but it says that they have all these different body parts, and they can actually lose different body parts, and people will dislike them if they lose different parts, and it's not tended to.
Well, I would be kind of unnerved by people who lost body parts.
I mean, one of my characters lost a nose, and I didn't know it until I checked in their medical records, so...
Gee.
Yeah, that'd be awkward.
Yeah, and this was my scientist, so I mean, he just sat around researching, and I was just always felt bad, because everybody hated him, so...
Yeah, talk about keeping
what am I gonna do?
Grindstone.
So, what has everybody else been playing lately?
Dino Crisis.
Oh, Dino Crisis? Isn't that like the dinosaur shooter? Like an arcade shooter with dinosaurs?
Yeah, there's some guns in it. It's not really a shooter though, it's a horror game. No, it's a survival horror game from
it's
the original PlayStation. It's basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs. It's actually the same, what's his name, Shinji Mikami made it.
Yeah, it's old school.
Oh yeah, it's still good. A lot of the PS1 horror games kind of hold up because the graphics kind of make it look a little bit scarier, a little more like dilapidated.
The game I've been playing recently was the South Park game there, the second one, the Fractured Butthole game, actually. Got that for Switch. I really like the combat. It's very Paper Mario.
That's cool.
So I thought that was cool.
I still haven't played that one
I
yet.
could never get past the art style of South Park. It completely is not...
I had it for PS4, and then I just never really played it. And then it came out for the Switch, so I ended up trading in my PS4 copy, and I never trade in games, and got the Switch version instead, and I've been playing it a lot. Just, I don't know, whenever I get a game on the Switch, just because it's handheld, I tend to play it more.
I never trade in games either. I have an entire Batman lunchbox full of DS games and 3DS games.
Nice.
Okay, I know that Xenoture Gaming, you might have to drop out because you're on the East Coast. So... Let's get into the one that you're probably most interested in. The chances of Ray or Custom Robo. I kind of didn't think that he had a chance until recently, but the aggregation of all of the poll results, he actually did much better than I expected that he would have done. And he still hasn't been seen as an assist trophy. And at this point, I think he definitely is going to be an assist trophy, or he's going to be playable, because he got enough votes that he's going to at least be an assist trophy, but then we haven't seen it.
Well, in my opinion, I really want him as a playable character, because he's going to be a Bayonetta Slayer, no doubt about that. If he gets in, he will be a Bayonetta Slayer, because if you want to know why, in Custom Robo, every Robo has an ability that prevents spam, but encourages combos, known as Rebirth. If you hit too much, you enter a Rebirth state, which basically lets you get it makes you invulnerable for about 3 seconds, and prevents the combo from increasing. So you can't combo over and over and over, except for that one Robo Jameson, which it makes that strong point, but every other Robo has this Reaver sequence. this would make him a Bayonetta Slayer, preventing Bayonetta from comboing early off stage. So it would make him. It's easier for every other character to work around this. Just Bayonetta's signature technique would always be. They would be weaker against this. So if he gets in, this would be the one best way to nerf Bayonetta, and it would be the best way to bring back the Custom Robo series as a whole.
Damn, you really justified that one.
I have done my research. I thought everything through. I run a Twitter. I am the only Twitter that's supporting the Rayman 3. I have looked this up.
How high did he score on the roster? The voting?
On the roster, it says it will list it as Custom Robo, and it's at 32. But if you cut out all the confirmed and deconfirmed ones, it will be a bit more.
That's actually pretty high.
Yeah, I've seen that ballot data before, and I did notice that Custom Robo was pretty high, especially I think in Japan. If you just look at the Japan poll, he's pretty high. So, not having your assist trophy shown at this point could definitely mean something for a character.
To be honest, I just have this fantasy in my head, where both Isaac and the Rayman 3 get in, and where I can just fight an Isaac fan as the Rayman 3.
I hope so.
It's just been going on in my head for a while. But if he gets in, I would like to see a stage where the Robos, Miranda, and Rockhound are stage hazards. And it's just like one of the basic, I think, L formation stage, if you can look that up. But it's like one of the basic stages in the beginning of the game. It's either that, or you can use Hadron's stage from Endgame. And if he gets in, you can also have the Dark Ray as an Echo Fighter, which, it's basically like Dark Pit, but, more powerful because it's an illegal Robo, because it's made to be OP in the game.
Okay, I actually lost internet connection for a bit there, so is that like the end of the Ray discussion? Does anyone have anything else to add?
I don't know too much about Custom Robo to give an input, but I hope.
I would be more than willing to buy you a copy of Custom Robo. I advertise this game series to everyone I can, just to increase the chances a little.
I've played Custom Robo back in the day on GameCube. It is a really awesome series, definitely underrated, at least in the West. So I do think it would be really cool to get, Ray as a character. I'm not sure if Sakurai would pick him or not, but Sakurai's definitely chosen some underdog series before, and all of a sudden Isaac from Golden Sun seems pretty likely right now. So I always thought Golden Sun was kind of an underdog series, so we'll see what we get.
I think that the Ray is in the same boat as Isaac in a sense. Both series did sort of end on the DS line, so just saying.
That is true. So what do you all think about Isaac's chances?
I'm saying he's getting in.
On this
he's getting in.
Poll thing, he's at number 2, which I'm taking
That's
that
pretty
with
high.
a huge grain of salt, but I still think that
Ridley
he
was like 17.
pretty darn high up there.
If he doesn't get into the base roster, he's DLC.
I could see that happen.
Isaac's a tough one for me to call yes or no, because he seems really likely all of a sudden here, and he's really popular with the Smash fan base, but he also had his assist trophy, not return from Brawl to Smash 4, so that's always struck me as, I don't know if Nintendo cares about Golden Sun, or I don't know if Sakurai cares about Golden Sun. But of course now we're getting K. Rool, who Nintendo has also, turned their back on for so long. So, it does seem like now's the time for characters like that. So it's I guess Isaac all of a sudden seems likely, but he just has seemed like such an underdog for so long. It's hard for me to in my mind, change him to a likely character now.
Well,
but he does appear to be that.
Well, Sakurai is using the ballot.
Well, I have seen one of your videos where there was a leak about Isaac from Golden Sun, where Sakurai did post the Rathalos picture and the 3 other characters, I think Link, Shulk, and Marth, I think, in the Golden Sun type pose. So it seems like he's kind of hinting at that, and if not, then it might be leading towards something else of a similar design. But right now, everybody seems to be following the Golden Sun assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen that picture too, and it does seem very much so like it's pointing towards Golden Sun. So, like, yeah, I do think Isaac has a really good shot right now. It's just tough for, like, you know, I've just been following Smash speculation since, you know, before Brawl, and, you know, Isaac just seems like such an underdog for so long. It's, like, almost unbelievable that Sakurai would be hinting at Isaac right now, but it does appear to be that he is doing that.
I have heard claims that, like, the Monster Hunter, the picture is actually like a reference to a Monster Hunter official art, and Link is like representing an archer class Monster Hunter, Martha's representing like an armored soldier class hunter, and Shulk is representing like a cat because of like anime eyes. And I don't personally think that there's really anything to it, because it's like a full, like, you see their backs, it's like on their backs up against Rathalos. I don't see it, but do you think that it could be like Monster Hunter art?
I've seen the cover that people have pointed out that it could be, and it, you know, if you take that and you compare it to, you know, what a Golden Sun fight scene looks like, I'd say it looks way more like a Golden Sun fight scene. And someone over on Reddit did a really good analysis breakdown of, like, how Marth's name is Mars in Japanese, and Garrett from Golden Sun is a Mars user, and how Shulk can, like, see into the future, and that could be for, like, Ivan, because Ivan has, like, psychic powers, and Link is a silent blonde protagonist, which is close to Isaac. So, like, somebody did this really good breakdown that kind of convinced me that whether or not Isaac's in the game, that Sakurai tweet is supposed to be, you know, hinting at Golden Sun.
Yeah, one thing I do want to say about, like, Isaac's chances, even though he was cut as an assist trophy last game, is Sakurai's really going with the ballot this time. I think we can ascertain that he was a ballot frontrunner, even if he wasn't number 2.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, he's really, really popular within the Smash community. People have wanted Isaac for a long time, similar to Ridley and K. Rool and the characters we seem to be getting. So it just seems unbelievable right now, but yeah, it does seem like he's pretty likely because of all that. I guess the Smash ballot is really doing its job this game.
Yeah, and I mean, even the Smash ballot, like, Bomberman is an assist trophy. Like, he apparently didn't do well enough to become a playable character, but he did well enough that he was going to be an assist trophy. And we're, like, seeing that with some other characters, too.
Think about it like this. Well, I mean, Bomberman, what can you do with, in his game, the sort of hero is he lays down and gathers upgrades, so, I mean, this is probably the best you'll get.
Bomberman Hero, you could do plenty with that. You could do plenty with, like, the elemental bombs.
Okay, I forgot about that,
have,
but
like, the little
I mean,
boxing glove to reflect.
Like, how would he do? Like,
you could have like a really cool moveset for Bomberman, but he's not playable, unfortunately. He was one of my most wanted.
I don't know if Bomberman's playability has to do with lack of a moveset potential, or if it just has to do with that we got, you know, Snake back, and now we're getting Castlevania characters, and maybe Sakurai thought that was enough from Konami. Maybe he's trying to evenly distribute characters from the third-party companies. So, you know, there's kind of a theory about how we're going to get 2 of each of the third-party companies, so, or 2 characters for each third-party company. So that might have to do with why Sakurai's an assist. It could also be his moveset potential might just have been a little lower. I don't know. I don't know for sure.
God, that brings me down. I really wanted Pyramid Head. And I know that would never happen, but that was my Konami hope. That's not going to happen.
well, I mean, I have had like a little theory that at some point somebody's going to hack Smash Ultimate and make assist trophies a little bit playable and assign certain moves, certain things. Because from what I've seen, the animations for all the assist trophies, it all seems to seem like they could have potential moves if you hack them the right way. But I don't really see them being playable kind of sort of playable. But I mean, they might have assist trophies might play a major role in Spirits mode, but I don't even think it's gonna be called Spirits mode. I'm pretty sure the Spirits is a placeholder text for what they're gonna put over it.
Definitely, all of these assist trophies are gonna be some of the first mods that we see for the game. That's one that is solace I'm taking.
Yeah, but
like Zero, he's gonna be playable. Shovel Knight, he's gonna be modded and made playable with all the like movement.
Yeah, I mean, like, these aren't going to be perfect hacks. I mean, it's not going to be perfect to make for Shovel Knight, but I mean, with Alucard, he already has a few, like, about half of a potential fighter's moveset. So, I mean, you could possibly assign like certain moves that are already designed in there. But I mean, you couldn't make him all the way playable.
There's definitely something interesting with how assist trophies can be knocked out in this game. So I don't know if that is hinting at something with their maybe playability to some extent, or at least obviously people will be able to go in and mod them easier. But there's something going on there with them being able to be KO'd potentially somehow if they're part of the one-player mode as like enemies or something maybe. But it's very interesting.
I'll tell you what I want. I want Ditto's mode. Like you play as the Pokemon Ditto, and whatever your opponent is, your opponent can choose a random opponent, and you just play as Ditto, and you just copy them.
I could definitely see now that we have Ditto as like a Pokemon that copies everyone, that instead of like fighting Polygon team, we get like fighting Ditto team in this one. That would be cool.
That'd be kind of crazy. So, what do you think about Skull Kid's chances? Like, just like considering the tease. Do you think that the pillows and chairs were a reference to Skull Kid?
The only thing that makes me think it wouldn't happen is because they used the moon as an assist trophy, and I can't think of anything else that would have been his final smash.
Well, he could like have Majora's Mask shoot out the little tentacles and become like Majora's Wrath or one of the other forms.
See, I thought the mask and whatever it is Skull Kids do would have been like his regular moveset.
Yeah, I was thinking Majora's Wrath as well for the final smash, and it might even have to do with Sakurai maybe thinking that having the moon come down should instantly kill everyone, because that's what it does, and maybe he thought that was too powerful for a final smash, so
yeah, why would
Majora's Wrath for Skull Kid.
I'll tell you what's funny. What would be funny? It would be funny if Skull Kid's final smash is the moon, but instead of summoning like the assist trophy moon, he just summons a bigger moon.
You could actually
they wouldn't use 2 moons.
They already kind of did, actually, because the Great Bay Temple has the moon.
Well, that is true. I mean, I when it comes to Skull Kid, I kind of skipped over Majora's Mask. I've been meaning to go back and try and get that game, but I mean, I never considered him. I never even thought he was going to be playable until I started looking back at all the people who wanted him to be playable, and I'm like, well, dang, he's more popular than I thought.
Man, you got to play Majora. It's not the best Zelda, but it's one of the most unique. Skull Kid, man, that would be an interesting fighter. I don't know what his moveset would be. There's not a lot to choose from. But they're probably going to pick one character to represent Zelda, and they haven't picked one yet. And I thought it would have been Midna, but she's already an assist trophy.
Did you play Hyrule Warriors at all? Because he had a moveset in that.
I could actually see Skull Kid having being like a chic Echo fighter, just like way more puppet-like animations. But like instead of needles, he could shoot little twigs. It would actually work really well.
Maybe something with an ocarina.
Yeah, he could potentially do ocarina stuff.
In Ocarina of Time. He had his own little instrument in Ocarina of Time. And I guess something with the giants, but I don't know what they would do. He stays pretty loyal to the source material, and all they did in Majora's Mask was raise the moon, hold it up.
Yeah, those giants are also in the Great Bay stage as well, so...
Oh, that's true. They brought that one back. There we go. Yeah. That was a good point, though. Bringing down the moon would destroy everyone, including Skull Kid, so that's why it wouldn't be his final smash. So that just kind of reignited my hope that he might make it.
Yeah, that is...
I gotta pick a Zelda character. What other Zelda characters could they be?
I was thinking Impa as a Sheik Echo when you brought up Sheik Echo there.
I thought that too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
That makes more
I actually
sense.
had a conversation once about Impa being a Echo for Sheik, where basically she would take the movesets around the Yiga clan from Breath of the Wild, because the Yiga clan are divergents from the Sheikah clan. So her unique moves, the few unique moves that she would have would be derived from the Yiga clan, if that makes sense.
No, totally. Interesting.
Yeah, that could be cool. She had that giant sword in Hyrule Warriors, so that's very similar to how the Yiga fight, so they could definitely pull stuff from that.
I mean, the real reason I would say from the Yiga and not the Sheikah clan is because the Sheikah don't do anything in it because they're a peace-loving tribe, and the Yiga, they have the same fighting style, supposedly lore-wise. So it would only make sense, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Well, what do you guys think about Shantae's chances? Because she's another one that came out of nowhere. And it seems that she did relatively well. WayForward is supposedly teasing her, which I think that might be going a little bit far. But I could see, like, her age, her being more established could make her more appealing than Shovel Knight. Because WayForward is almost more of a third party than an indie. But they're really kind of on the line. And then, of course, she could also be represented by the Pillows and Tears, because people have looked at the pillows and they have like an Arabian design, and the chairs are her colors.
Yeah, that's true.
She does have a lot of moves.
I'm gonna be honest. I'll prefer Shantae over Dixie Kong, to be honest.
I can't agree with that, but
It's mainly because, like, when it comes to Dixie Kong, I see like a monkey with earrings and a ponytail and all this other stuff, and it's just the aesthetics looks weird. I thought King K. Rool would look weird, but then I'm pleasantly surprised when I finally see him. So I mean, until I see Dixie Kong, I'm just gonna be against the idea. But I'm on board with Shantae, to be honest. It's just I prefer some other characters over her. I'm on board with her. Just plain her.
you do need more female characters. And she is older than Shovel Knight. He's relatively new. And she's got a lot of movement.
I mean, I will agree with that.
Yeah, Shantae's a tough one to call just because we've had some hints for her, and Shovel Knight were extremely popular during the ballot. But it's tough for me to say whether or not she's going to be playable, because I could also see WayForward being, really excited about her being like an assist trophy like Shovel Knight was, and just being hyping up that she's in Smash at all. So while I do think she's probably definitely in Ultimate somewhere, calling whether or not she's an assist trophy, I don't know. It's like a 50-50 shot in my opinion.
Yeah, I can almost see like Tease being almost just like, if she is an assist trophy, I could see that actually being like a legitimate tease, what WayForward was doing with the Ultimate Slumber Party that everyone's going to be at.
Yeah, it's definitely like a tease towards Ultimate. I just don't know whether or not it's a tease at her being playable. I think she does have a shot at being playable. It's just a matter of like, did she beat out Shovel Knight to become playable and he's just going to be an assist, or are they both just going to be assists? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
When it comes to Shovel Knight not being playable, you gotta take into consideration his first game came out around the ballot. So I mean that could have taken into factor why he's an assist trophy now, because him being an assist trophy, Sakurai probably factored in that it was so close to the ballot. So we decided, why not take an indie game that's actually more established and has time to develop, because when it comes to how recent something is, how relevant it is, it will definitely take a big toll on it, on poll results. So I mean, once it becomes more established, and if he still has all these votes, then then he'll probably put him in.
Yeah, I definitely agree that you don't want to put in like a flavor of the month character and then have that character not be popular over time. I feel very similar about like getting an ARMS character in the base roster. I feel like the ARMS series needs to sit for a few years before we can call whether or not it's worthy enough to get in Smash, if that makes sense. But Shantae has been around for a long time, very established with Nintendo, so I could see her edging out over Shovel Knight for playable based on that. I just also think she could just be an assist trophy, and WayForward would still potentially be hinting towards her. So I just don't know which way to call on this one.
Yeah, there's
I need to play as Shantae's game.
There's a lot that could make her more appealing than Shovel Knight, because I mean, Shovel Knight, he is recent. He's been in one game. There's no basis to assume that he's going to have staying power, and then he's also kind of been put in like every other indie game, so it kind of just waters him down a little bit too.
Yeah, he is kind of the guest character for everything lately, and I do think you brought up Dixie Kong, or Dixie Kong got brought up earlier. And I know Sakurai tries to use assets from different characters to, help work in other characters. So if Dixie Kong is in some form, and she does use her hair, Shantae using her hair as well, they actually might help each other both get in the game, because you have this established move set or style that you're going for, and as a programmer, being able to just like almost copy and paste that and tweak it a little bit could be helpful getting both those characters in.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
I can see that.
I guess next there's Karate Joe, and he's seems to have been teased based on Donkey Kong's pose and Donkey Kong's TV. And the chairs also would match him, because he in Rhythm Heaven has like a purple gi with like yellow accents.
So I mean, if the data for the Chorus Kids were still around and they were able to bring them over to Smash Ultimate, then most likely, and Karate Joe could be within a Smash Ultimate, could be implemented as well into their moveset. Or it might be Karate Joe and they're implemented in his moveset. It most likely they are linking, like most likely this is a reference to the Rhythm Heaven series, but the Donkey Kong lying down and that specific TV model and antennas. I'm fairly certain that that's a reference to the Rhythm Heaven series, but which character from the Rhythm Heaven series, I'm not going to be exactly sure.
Yeah, I mean, Karate Joe could definitely, finalize the Gametsu leak that had Chorus Kids on it by giving us a Rhythm Heaven rep. He does fit the chairs, he does fit the Donkey Kong pose hint, and there was a really good leak today that had Karate Joe on it. I'm not 100% sure if it's real or not, but it was one of the better leaks I've seen just because of how complex some of the things that were making it real were. So I could definitely see us getting Karate Joe, and if not Karate Joe, some Rhythm Heaven rep just seems likely after we got Chrom, and the only character missing from that Gametsu leak from Smash 4 is a Rhythm Heaven rep character.
Do you think that it's possible that the tease could have been for just Rhythm Heaven and not Karate Joe specifically? Yeah,
it might just be a tease for Rhythm Heaven. Most of the signs seem to be pointing towards Karate Joe, but I don't know. I mean, that series has so many characters in it. You could reference one character, and then the playable one we get could be someone else. I could definitely see that happening.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. But...
Well, personally, I would prefer Karate Joe over, the Chorus Kids, but I don't have super strong feelings about any Rhythm Heaven character. I guess another character would be Bandana Dee, which supposedly has evidence because Memory Man...
I don't really see that happen.
The Daisy Freak was data mining and found additional amiibo support for Waddle Dee in Yoshi's Woolly World. Do you think that means that Bandana Dee has a chance? Or could it just be that he's going to get an amiibo for some other reason?
I don't care if he's in or not. I'm just going to say I'll like him being in, because he's a Waddle Dee with a bandana. He's part of the main four of the cast. I'd like him in, but when it comes to him actually getting in, I have no clue. But the only thing that points to him actually being in my opinion, happens to be one, that leak with the amiibo support for him in that Yoshi's game, was it? Or what? I honestly, it cut out a little bit. Yeah, basically, the only thing pointing at would be that, and the amount of votes he receives in a lot of the polls.
You think there's any characters that weren't on the ballot that he's considering?
I personally don't.
I mean, I guess just about every character probably got some votes on the ballot, like every character you could think of. But I do think we have gotten characters that I don't think did super well on the ballot. Like Ridley, for instance, is very highly requested character, but he was kind of stuck on Pyrosphere, and most people I think thought the ballot was for Smash 4 DLC, and pretty much that's it. Probably weren't voting for him. Similarly, Simon Belmont, a Castlevania rep meant getting Konami back, and we didn't have Snake back, so I don't think people were probably heavily voting for Castlevania characters. So I do think, Sakurai is looking more at general popularity and not just the ballot results for characters. It's another reason why I think Skull Kid does have a decent shot, is because he's just a very popular Zelda character. But once again, I don't think he got a ton of votes on the ballot because he was an assist trophy for Smash 4. I think most people would have thought they were throwing their votes away voting for him.
Definitely less popular, but popular characters are getting included, but I don't think Sakurai's necessarily going to be looking for his own personal off-the-wall choices.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a Wii Fit Trainer this game.
I think maybe a retro rep would fit the bill for a random one, or maybe a Pokemon. Those are the two that won't be on the ballot.
The highest requested Pokemon is Magnemite. Am I the only one that thinks that's weird?
It's kind of weird.
You know why that is? Do you know the Magnemite thing? Do you know why Magnemite's so heavily requested?
Was it like a meme or something?
Yeah, it's like Japan's Shrek, basically. It's just a joke character in Japan, because just because he has, like, how would you make him fight? How would you even put him in? So he's basically just a joke. That's why he's so heavily requested. But I'm pretty sure Sakurai's aware of the joke.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind Magnazone, because in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, he's the chief of police. Nobody messes with him. That would just be awesome to be flying around as the chief of police of Pokemon. But to be honest, after Greninja, I lost my taste for more Pokemon entering Smash.
Yeah, I do think a big UFO character would be pretty sweet, but I doubt that's what we're gonna get.
I really doubt it, but it would be cool.
I do think they'll make a DLC character when the new Pokemon game comes out, the new RPG.
Yeah, I think so too.
We touched briefly on Dixie Kong. Do you think she would be an Echo or a semi-clone?
Like an Echo of Diddy, maybe?
Yeah, or like a semi-clone of Diddy with like some shared moves, but mostly unique.
Semi-Echo, definitely.
Yeah, just replacing the jetpack with like the ponytail twirl. Maybe like the feather bow that Tiny Kong had in DK64 instead of the peanut gun.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you just do that, you give her the hair twirl as the up B, and then maybe like a hair as her grab. And I know she has like a bubblegum pop gun, I think, in the new Donkey Kong Country game. And if you just do that to her, I think that's enough to make her unique. I know they got rid of Diddy's tail attack move, and since Dixie doesn't have a tail, that is suspicious if they've done that just to add Dixie. And I do think she's going to be probably more of a semi-clone, but I think they'll probably call her an Echo Fighter, like kind of like what they did with Chrom, it feels like.
I mean, they could give Diddy back his tail move, and then give Dixie a few of his new moves. And maybe there was a leak recently about Dry Bowser, I think, having like the original move style of Bowser from Melee and Brawl, which I have recently started replaying Melee a little bit, and that moveset is awesome. So I mean, I would not be against something like that happening.
His tail move, she could use her ponytail for the tail and still be an Echo.
If Shantae does get in, it will like Dixie will likely derive some from.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening, and if you just put yourself in the shoes of a programmer and think about it, it would be easier to make a character if you already have a base, or make like an Echo Fighter if you already have a unique character like Shantae to pull some of the hair moves from and add to the Echo Fighter. So it would make sense to get both of them.
That's still an interesting point about the hair connection possibly giving them both a better chance.
What, you mean of being Echo Fighters for each other, like Dixie and Shantae?
I don't think they'd be Echo Fighters, but I do think they could share moves a bit.
I thought that's what we were saying. I was like, they would. I think they stick to the same series for that. But yeah, they could be slight clones.
Well,
with like similar.
I'd like to point out a specific rule that Echo Fighters are doing. Is that every Echo Fighter needs to be from the same series of the character that they're echoing. So I'd like to go under the assumption that every Echo is going to be of the same series that they're going to echo until the rule is broken by Sakurai, which it probably will be at some point. But until then, it's safe to assume that that's the rule for now.
The Echo Fighters share slots, so I think it's very unlikely they would be from different series.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that Dixie would be a Diddy Echo, and that would what it would be. It's more just like, I'm trying to think of somewhere else where this happens, but a type of move can be given and tweaked to another character that's from a different series or something. Just as from a programmer's perspective, I could see something like that happening with Shantae and Dixie, just to make programming the characters easier, but they wouldn't have exact moves of each other or anything.
Yeah, just like a springboard for both characters.
Yeah, here's a good example, like Jigglypuff and Kirby. They're different series, but they have similar ways that they jump. You could do the same thing here. You could have Dixie be a Diddy Echo, but perhaps if Shantae grabs with her hair, Dixie could do the same, and behind the scenes, they'd be using that same style animation to create the character.
Yeah, I could see them being slight clones of each other, but definitely not echoes if they're from different series.
Well, you'll be excited to talk about this one, PapaGenos. What do you think about Geno's chances? Do you think he really stands a real chance because of the Mii costume? Or do you think it's more like the ballad is the more likely reason that he might get included?
Maybe I'm super biased, but I do think he's in. I'll just say that right off the bat.
I do too.
I never played Super Mario RPG, but I mean, even from somebody that's never played it, I would love Geno to be in. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he has a really good shot. I do think the Mii costumes do seem to be pointing towards characters. I mean, K. Rool got a Mii costume, now he's playable, and Geno's Mii costume even had like splash art as if it was a newcomer character. So I really think it's just a long time coming getting Geno, but I think he's extremely likely right now.
Well, one other thing about Geno is Sakurai has considered him several times in the past as a full playable character.
Right.
Worst case, he's an assist trophy because he's so highly requested, but it's an RPG. I vaguely remember the game, and I mean, he would have like a pretty diversified moveset, and he is going to please the fans. He's been doing that. I could see it happening.
I just really doubt that he's going to get a assist trophy if they went through the effort of modeling him, go throughout all this history of Geno, build him up all this time, give him all this history, just for an assist trophy. I really don't think that even adding him would sit well with people.
I mean, they
like as
did that with Waluigi, you know, and that did not sit well with people.
Yeah, I kind of agree. He probably, I just feel like if Sakurai has the rights to use him, has the time to make the character, which I think was the problem with DLC. I think Sakurai wanted to first and foremost represent Final Fantasy, which is kind of the face of Square. But now Square's on board from the beginning. He clearly has the rights to the character because he did the Mii costume. I just think that, you know, after everything, it's just he's going to make him a playable character. I don't think he would put him in the game in any other way at this point.
Well, the next character I'd like to discuss is kind of an off-the-wall one. It's Chibi Robo, who was possibly teased early this year. But you remember the picture of a flaming Chibi Robo?
Yes, I do remember that picture.
One thing that I think could possibly give him a better chance is I think a lot of people on their ballot votes pointed out that they wanted more characters from unrepresented franchises, which I think could be a boon for Isaac, for Ray, and for Chibi Robo.
Dude, that's what I was saying before, is so many people know about Earthbound and F-Zero and Fire Emblem because of Smash, because it represents these underrated, like, less known Nintendo franchises. So I could see it happening, you know? They always go back to the throwbacks, like Mr. Game & Watch and Duck Hunt, Ice Climbers. I could see it happening. Yeah,
I totally agree. You know, getting like a custom Robo character, Chibi Robo, or Isaac from Golden Sun, or a Rhythm Heaven rep. Those are all kind of underdog series from Nintendo that, like you said, could definitely get a boost from getting in Smash. And I do think we'll probably see at least one or two of them this time around.
But yeah, I just think that a lot of ballot votes may have pointed out that people wanted more characters from unrepresented franchises, which could give them a better chance of getting included.
Yeah, totally. I also do think Echo Fighters helps give characters to series that are already established without taking a ton of time up. So, getting characters like Daisy for Mario can give you more time to make characters for new series, or like Chrom is our Fire Emblem character this time. You could then make Chibi Robo instead of having to make a whole full-fledged new Fire Emblem fighter or something.
Yeah, they're perfect for like the supporting characters or like the lesser known character of a popular series. It's kind of why I'm surprised they didn't put Waluigi as Wario's Echo if they put Daisy as Peaches. Yeah,
I'm also a little surprised that Waluigi is still an assist trophy, but it feels like everybody's a little surprised that he didn't become playable, so I guess he'll be next game's Ridley.
Yeah, I'm not even the dude's biggest fan. but I do find it surprising because he's a Mario character. You think they'd go for as many Mario characters as they can.
I kind of have to wonder if maybe Sakurai thought that all the Waluigi support was some kind of joke, like the Magnemite meme.
Well, here's an idea. Like, his whole assist trophy move was incorporated into his moveset, but they're still working on him, so they just didn't incorporate him yet. So they just kept him linked. So as this throw people off, they just knocked him. It's like connected his that one move as an assist trophy just to throw everybody off, and then they're gonna throw him in at last minute, because that was what they were working on. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean, if it does, it'll be cool.
That would be great, because his whole thing this whole time has been like trolling us, like with King DDD doing K. Rool's thing, the like side games that he's been in, like tennis and golf.
Yeah, it'd be great to have him represent those games.
I think the worst decision Nintendo made is creating a character that they didn't like give a personality beforehand, and then just keep adding details to this character that's not really established. And that's what really holds him back from actually getting a game that Sakurai could base him on for Smash.
Maybe, sure.
And then people meme all this unestablished character, and that also holds him back. So
I'm a little curious. I know you talked about if like they're just trolling us with making him an assist trophy, but he's actually secretly playable or something. But I am curious if I do think we'll get DLC for this game, and I'm curious if characters that are assist trophies like Waluigi or Ashley, characters that were highly requested, if Sakurai will think about upgrading them for DLC, or if that's out of the question and the only DLC characters will be ones that aren't already in Smash in some way.
Possible.
Would he take them out if they were assist? Would he take the assist trophies out if he put them as characters?
Well, when it comes to Waluigi, I remember watching a YouTuber that said that I'm pretty sure his name is Introspective, that the most Waluigi thing that Waluigi could do is pull a Waluigi assist trophy while battling as Waluigi.
Yeah, I did see that video, and it was a really cool theory. I don't know if I believe in it, but it definitely was a cool theory to think, if there's one character that would fake us out and pretend, they're just going to be an assist trophy, but then end up being in a game, Waluigi would fit that type of character.
I do think DLC characters could be assist trophies, because all they would have to do is find another character, make them the assist trophy instead. Like
Alfonso.
They could take like Birdo and replace Waluigi with Birdo, or there might be some character that has a slightly better size match to Waluigi. Or they could take like Max and replace Bomberman.
The toughest...
I would like to say that there is the possibility that there won't be DLC. Like when Sakurai said in that most recent Direct, I believe, he said that he wants to get all the characters out before the game releases. That could hint at no DLC happening. That gets me worried, because this whole time when I was like running to Twitter, I was aiming for the Gray Mach 3 to be a DLC character, but when my mind just went blank. But like if that's the case, then that kind of rules out DLC altogether and all these DLC characters. But I hope that's not the case. But in the end, it's his decision.
I'm pretty sure Sakurai probably meant that he's just going to show the full base roster before the game comes out, because he's never done that before. There's always been characters that, although the internet found out about them, officially they weren't announced at the time of the game's release. So I'm pretty sure that's what he meant. I also think it would be really foolish of Nintendo to not do DLC. I would be very shocked if they don't do DLC. I just think it prints money, basically, and Nintendo can almost like win an E3 if they announce a really big character for Smash, and that's one character for an already released game, and they can get a ton of press coverage and stuff over it. So I'd be shocked if they don't do DLC for this game.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo would let them not do DLC.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked as well, but the whole point is it's a possibility, and I think the possibility is that if that so-called spirits mode is a story mode, Sakurai might not want to do DLC because all the characters are in it, and adding new characters, he would want to maybe put them in there too, but the whole thing's already made. So it feels like you're leaving characters out by including DLC. Also, the thing is, he said like you know how DLC's handled in Smash 4, you automatically get the character. He says like the base roster, you're only gonna have the base roster of the 64 cast. That kind of negates it by including DLC in that same way. So it kind of makes it feel a bit more weird to include DLC. But if they do include DLC, I'll still be happy.
Okay, well let's move on to another character. What do you guys think about the chances of Banjo? Because I'm kind of really on the fence. I see Microsoft's open to it, but I also think that they would want a lot of money for it.
Oh, I know. I know it's coming up.
I'm gonna say I'm supportive, but I'm also gonna say that it's like I'd say about 25. If he gets in, I'll be okay with that. But I mean, the problem is that I'm not sure. Like it might be rushed like Sonic was in Brawl. So I'm not entirely sure. Like this late in the development, Microsoft then saying that it'd be a bit of a rush. But I could see him as a DLC character.
Yeah, I think he definitely would be more appealing as DLC to Nintendo, because then Microsoft wouldn't be taking a cut of every copy sold. They'd be taking a cut of every DLC sold.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. I do think Banjo is probably more likely a DLC character. He might even be our first DLC character if the Vergaben leak is right and we have some sort of Minecraft something in Smash. It would mean working with Microsoft, but I do think it probably happened late in the game. Another interesting thing with Banjo and just Rare in general is that we had the NES Classic and we had the Super NES Classic. And if we got an N64 Classic, I know Nintendo would probably want, some Rare games on there. They're a big part of the N64 library. So it could make sense to go to Microsoft, not just to get Banjo and Smash, but also to get the rights to some of those Rare games for an N64 Classic. So the timing for Banjo and for Nintendo to start working, with Rare or getting those Rare games, somehow getting the rights to them again, does fit pretty well right now. So I could see it happening.
Do you think that Banjo could be more likely if it was synchronized with some kind of huge, crazy announcement, like maybe Microsoft and Nintendo were partnering on something, or Microsoft is selling the Banjo IP?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if they're going to go out of their way to get Banjo as a character for Smash, it means working with Microsoft. It means working with Rare. Something Nintendo hasn't done in decades, basically. And so it would be a really big deal. But I think Sakurai could maybe convince Nintendo of this, or Nintendo maybe was already looking at this because of wanting to do the N64 Classic or something. They would want to do a big deal like that at this point in time, which would be really awesome. It would work out for everybody.
If that happens, I could see it happening in a direct, and then they save that bit for the very end, just to surprise everyone. And then they show Banjo getting into Smash, and then at the very end they also slightly now that Nintendo may have got the IP.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be a great way to end the whole Smash speculation cycle, is to drop Banjo's coming as DLC, so we'd know, one, we're getting DLC, and then you could even do something about, like I said, the N64 Classic, or something to kind of assume that Nintendo and Microsoft are going to be working together with Rare IPs. Anything like that would be super hype. It'd be a great way to end the Smash speculation.
That's really interesting when you said if it would be more worthwhile for them to just buy back the Banjo IP, because then they wouldn't have to give Microsoft a cut from the Smash game or from the N64 Classic, and then they pretty much have that IP back, and it just feels more at home on a Nintendo system, because that's where it originally was, and they can do all make remakes with it. They can continue the series. It's actually pretty interesting. They were going to buy back any Rare IP.
Yeah, Microsoft's done nothing with Banjo-Kazooie for a long time, so really all they have is the IP, and the best thing they can do with it, because I know they don't really want to make another Banjo game because I think they're afraid what the fan reaction will be, and it's just going to hurt the IP further. I think the best move they have is sell it to Nintendo, and if Nintendo wants Banjo for Smash, now's the time to sell it.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of games that I would want the IPs to go to someone else. Banjo-Kazooie being one of them, Metal Gear Solid, and Castlevania being a few others. So, I mean, for Banjo-Kazooie, Nintendo was like the best bet for them to get it, because you know it's in safe hands at that point.
Right.
That would be the best case scenario, but even if that doesn't happen, I could see Microsoft letting it be in Smash for a cut, because they have been kind of friendly in some terms. Like, they have Minecraft on Switch, they have the whole Mario-themed Minecraft stuff that I've seen.
I'm just wondering, how much is the Banjo-Kazooie IP even worth?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's definitely a speculative thing that the companies would probably have to discuss.
Yeah,
I was just curious, because I was just wondering how much it would be priced, because of so much inactivity. The price must have declined by now, and their most recent Banjo-Kazooie game being a nuts and bolts, that must have dropped the IP's value by a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
I think even if Microsoft wanted to make money off of Banjo-Kazooie and still own Banjo-Kazooie, I still think that they probably aren't able to really market it well, because if they make another game, it's going to have it's going to have nuts and bolts kind of on everyone's mind when they sell whatever other game they'd make. But if they were to sell the rights to Nintendo, or allow Nintendo to make another Banjo-Kazooie game, or if they were to just put Banjo in Smash, and both, that's the way people would be happy to get something new with Banjo, and Microsoft could make money off of it, because as it is right now, they own the IP, but they can't really do anything with it that any fans would be happy about unless they involve Nintendo.
Well, here's my thing. The best way, they give like leeway and allow a crossover between Yooka-Laylee and Banjo, and let like Rare and those two, and then Rare and the company that made Yooka-Laylee work together to make a little crossover Banjo-Kazooie Yooka-Laylee game.
Yeah, they could sell it back to them too. That would probably be the one other option besides Nintendo that people would potentially be happy about.
If it weren't for that, the fact that they were a different series, I could see Yooka-Laylee being an Echo Fighter of Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, good point.
What's next?
What do you guys think about Rayman and Sora? Do you think that they're particularly likely, unlikely, or not really have any strong feelings on them? Because they both get brought up sometimes.
Yes to Rayman, but no to Sora.
Rayman, I don't know too much about the series, but it's kind of iconic, and they're very friendly with Ubisoft. Everyone's seen that. Just hopefully it's not the Rabbids. It probably would be Rayman. I'm afraid they might do Rabbid Peach.
Yeah.
They really like that character. But I don't think Sakurai would do that. He wouldn't put the time into that.
What would be funny is if they chose to use like Rabbid Kong, and it represents Rabbid.
Yeah, I feel like if the Rabbids got in any way, they'd be just like an assist trophy, and that would be if Rayman got in. I think Rayman's a pretty likely DLC character. I don't know if he's base roster priority character, but he did have a trophy in Smash 4. Nintendo and Ubisoft do work together, really well lately. So I could see him getting in, but I think he's a highly potential DLC character. As for Sora, I just think working with Disney might be really difficult. Sora could be our final DLC character, kind of like how Cloud was sort of like, oh, that's never going to happen, and then we got Cloud towards the end of the DLC. I could see Sora being something like that, but it would be like a long shot, wow, they actually did it character at the very, very end of everything for Ultimate. But I'm not holding my breath for it. It's possible, but I'm not, expecting it.
Wouldn't them negotiate more with Square?
Let me pose a hypothetical for Rayman. Let's say Rayman does get in, and this stage has the Rabbids as a stage hazard.
Yeah, that could work too. I'd be fine with that. I just really don't want them playable, and I'd much rather have Rayman, to be honest. But yeah, I do think if Rayman got in, the Rabbids would be somewhere in the game.
Well, I mean, the Rabbids aren't even in his main game. They were from a spin-off called Rayman's Raving Rabbids.
The thing about Rayman for me is I just don't see the Rayman IP really being that popular. There's a really pardon the pun, a really rabid Rayman fan base. But then, like, I don't see that many people really being that into Rayman. It's just like a few people that are really into Rayman.
Yeah, I'd rather get someone like Crash Bandicoot or something if we had to get, another big company's, main character type, iconic mascot or whatever character. But Rayman was a trophy in Smash 4, so there's precedence there to put him in Smash. Also, just interestingly, we were talking about Dixie Kong and taking moves from characters, and Rayman has like he spins like his hair and stuff or whatever that's on top of his head to like fly. So that would be kind of a precedence to be similar again to something Dixie would do.
Well, I mean, those are his ears that are on top of his head, but
is that what those? I can't tell if it's like his hair or his ears.
I always thought it was his hair.
I'm salty over Crash Bandicoot because I mean, like everybody knows right now, I'm a huge fan of the Rayman 3, and I saw a poll that put him at the bottom of it with up against Crash Bandicoot, and I'm still salty over seeing that because they at least give him a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think Custom Robo probably has a better shot than any third-party character just because Nintendo does own the IP. So, if they're looking to expand, and if Ray, like let's say the game comes out and Ray doesn't get unplayable, but he's still also not an assist trophy, he'd be, a very highly likely DLC character because there probably wouldn't be too many Nintendo characters sitting around for them to choose from anyway at that point if assist trophies can't be playable, whatever that ruling goes, however Sakurai decides to do that.
Well, I kind of think that in this so-called spirits mode, that I think like partner characters that can happen in the game at some point.
That would be cool.
There's more where that came from, but unfortunately it is too much to fit into one video. So come back in the next day or two, whenever the next part actually gets uploaded to YouTube, and it'll be there.